Heidecker does. He gets it going on the show, and he's like, "Good morning, good morning." Big plans. We got big plans today.
Big plans.
I have a fun new intro song.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, while we're doing this show today, I have an idea, but I didn't put it together beforehand, so I'm literally going to have to put it together as the show goes on.
That's fine. I like that plan.
So I'm wondering if we can make this work with it still being, like, sounding like I'm in the moment the whole time while I'm also frantically putting together this bit.
Okay. I love it.
If I don't get it together, we can just do it next time, but...
I love the showmanship of this.
Well, so here's the idea of it. I can explain this. Maybe people on the air will be like, "Oh, that is a good idea. Maybe that is a smart thing for them to do."
Anyone listening right now, we're going to get started soon. You can hear us,
I'm taking the statistics of all the power duos, and I'm going to blind name the combination of them off to you, and you're going to try to tell me which duo it is.
Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah, fucking genius. Am I right?
Dude, you're pretty good at this show.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, did you sorry we did not do a show yesterday, but it was nice to get some shit done. And then we played Destiny 2 last night.
Dude, I'm going to play a game today. At least one video game.
We have not been playing a lot of games lately, but we got on and we've been playing Destiny 2 just the last couple of days. Like, we haven't bought any of the expansions. Like, we just got on and we're like, they upped the level cap. Man, it's just nice to sometimes sit down and play a game. I forget how fun it is.
Oh, yeah.
And it's something you could do while you do laundry or, while your kids are beating each other up or something.
Oh, yeah.
I decided, though, Bree and I need to have a child.
Right now?
Well, soon. Like, but then I want the child to grow up to about 10. Because we have all these board games, and I want to play board games.
Yeah, can't you just be born an adult already?
Yeah, like, I truthfully don't care. I don't care about my future child as a toddler. I hope he hears this.
Weird, what the heck? It just, like, had me start this as a watch party instead. Did I do this wrong? How do I get out of this? What the fuck?
I don't know. What'd you do?
Before we start, just allow me to figure this out.
Allow myself to introduce myself.
Leave this page. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, so yeah, before we get started, let me...
It's alright.
It could be my internet being a big old honking piece of trash right now, but...
Yeah. They can hear
It's just
us.
like, I was like trying to share it instead of share it, it was like start a watch party. It was giving me too many options.
We got 2 eyes. I see we got 2 eyes on the show. I'm letting you know right now that we know you can't see us right now. It's because we're not on right now.
It's not even letting me leave. It's like, no, you can go fuck yourself.
Hang in there, baby.
Can you hang in there, my baby?
Because the sports program is...
Maybe that's what it's called. Maybe it's just, that's what it is when you share it now. Like, you're starting a watch party because I'm not the one who's actually streaming it.
Oh, maybe. I'm sharing it on my profile right now.
I'm curious, so that's how I'm testing the waters right now.
Oh, my computer is being...
really slow? Because that's what mine is.
Super freaking slow.
Yeah, it is. Like, you start like a watch party now.
Yeah, mine's saying share in a group, share an event, or share in a page you manage. Did they change this?
Yeah, they did.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either because I'm confused.
I'm confused!
I'm extremely confused about how this works.
I don't get it. All I wanted to do was to share it.
Jeff's saying that he sees us already.
Hey,
Jeff, we're talking about power couples, baby!
He can see us?
I guess. I don't see how.
Now
I don't see how he could.
Now he should be able to see us.
Oh, we're back, baby.
We're on.
We're on. We're doing it. Hey, I thought you said you had a new intro song for Papa.
I do. I'm going to play it right now. You want to hear it? You excited?
Yeah.
No. Not really. I have the same song. I just really wanted you to hear that song.
I don't know what it was, but can you do it again?
I really wanted you just to hear this silly song.
Oh.
I was gonna do this whole bit, honestly, where I was like, where I act like we're gonna start the show, and then I'm like, well, hey, welcome to the Silly Hour.
It's Derek and Zach.
welcome to the Silly Hour.
With your favorite sports show host.
So what happened was, I gotta turn this off. I went and found that song. I'm trying to make drop-ins. What I mean by that is, I'm trying to play clips of movies and TV shows that I think are funny, and then record them, and then be able to play sound bites and stuff, like build my own soundboard.
Okay.
And after last week's show, where it was off the rails, I was like, it was like a circus, and so I googled silly circus song, and I wanted to get just a clip of that, so like when it turns into like that again, I can hit my soundboard and then play like a silly circus song when it goes off the rails. So that is the new song for when the show goes off the rails. Hey everybody, welcome to the sports program on TSPN. Your hosts, Zachariah, at Quack Swan on the twits. I say the twits to save time.
I like that.
At Derek on TSPN on Twitter. Good morning. I listen to Tim Heidecker as he always does. Good morning. We're here live on a Sunday, not your typical Saturday show, as it is not on Saturday.
I guess you could say it's not your typical Saturday show.
It's not your dad's Saturday show. We're
Probably
here to
not your mom's
talk about
Saturday
the
show
sports and sports-related things.
Unless your mom likes watching her sons drink freaking swill rattlers all day.
Why would she not like that?
I don't know. If my mom pops in on here, we can ask her. Is this what you're here to see, Mom?
What's his face? I can see us on there now, so I don't know. I don't know what he was talking about.
Who's saying what?
Oh, well, Jeff was saying he could see us before, and I switched it, so now they can see us. So now it looks great. Looks really good.
So now it's good.
So anybody, welcome to the show. We're here to talk about sports and sports-related things.
That's true.
Bree is digging around in the room for something.
So I was watching. I didn't get to watch the UFC fights live yesterday, but I really wanted to see how Uriah Faber did at UFC Sacramento, so I watched it before we started today.
Okay.
And guy's 40. And by the way, he looked great. It was like a 1-something minute knockout of someone who was who was the favorite in the fight. He was the underdog because he's coming out of retirement at 40 years old. But if you're coming out of retirement at 40 years old and your nickname is the California Kid, should you change it?
Yeah, I'd say the California Man, obviously.
Yeah, when do you start going by the California adult who pays taxes?
I want my fighter nickname to be like Jigglypuff or something cute.
Something adorable?
Yeah. That'd be cool.
I like that.
Because then you really throw them off. You know? Throw them off your scent. Don't be the tough guy. You know,
They're
tough guy.
This guy's going to be really nice to me.
Like Derek the Hugger. Derek the Hugger weighing in at 280 by the looks of him.
Definitely not more than that.
280, I'd bet. That's my bet I always do for, this is a mean joke. If you do not like body shame humor, do not listen to this next joke. That's my joke that I use for roller derby. It's like, weighing in at 250 pounds by the looks of her. That's a mean joke. It's a mean joke. If you don't like mean jokes, don't listen to that joke. Go back and not hear that.
Jokes. You're probably on the wrong program.
Yeah, you might be on the wrong program. So, how else?
Might be on the wrong
Did you watch the entire UFC event then, or just that fight?
No, I watched like the last 3, and then I started. If I was gonna have enough time, I was gonna sneak in the girl Juliana Pena from Spokane was fighting, and I hadn't seen her fight in a couple of years because she walked away to like have a kid and do commentary and stuff like that. So I wanted to see how she did.
Did she win?
I don't know. She was getting her butt kicked last time I checked, and then I just kind of fast forwarded to the main card. But
they're really getting a lot of Spokane people, I feel like.
There's a few in there. So there, at one point there was a couple guys, and then her. So yeah, it was pretty.
What's it with the market over here to where we're churning out fighters? Is it just that hard to live in Spokane?
Maybe it's just that hard, but if you think about it, Spokane's a decently populated place, and there's a gym there. So I really think that's
Yeah.
all it takes, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could reasonably move there and not have to live in, not have to have the cost of living in LA or wherever there's a big gym. Move up to Spokane, go to the gym there. The gym obviously has good enough connections to get you on TV eventually.
Yeah, clearly it gets you to where you need to be. Moving
cool.
along from that, though, we can get into the NBA.
We can get into the NBA. First,
So that's where the action is.
I also do think that Extreme Rules is on today too. WWE Extreme Rules, I think, is on today. That's how little I've paid attention to it, but I think it's on today.
I think it might be on today.
But the NBA had some stuff happen. I almost wish you had your camera the way it was so you can do that bit on camera. Your found footage film bit just from like off the show where you're like, oh God, I think Russ got the.
I think they got him.
I'm so scared.
So scared. I think the Rockets got Russ.
Oh, that's a good bet.
And then the camera drops to the ground.
Yep, and then it shows you hit the ground and die. That's a good bet. We just made a movie. You fog it up.
Yeah, they do a good job. I don't know. I don't know what it looks like now.
It's very blurry. There it's now we're back.
And I'm back, baby.
That's a good camera, man. That adjusted quick.
Well, it's a good camera.
That was a good camera for a good bit. We'll have to cut that one off, throw it on YouTube.
We'll have to cut it off, throw it in the woods.
Throw it in the woods. Russ is a Rocket.
Yes, he is.
Of the teams, I thought maybe Miami.
Right. I thought Miami too. It just seemed like Russell. There was the money for him there. It didn't really seem like it was a good fit necessarily for Harden and him to team up again. I don't know how you feel about it, but I felt like it was a weird fit. Now I don't. As the days have gone by, I've kind of opened up to it.
I want to see it. I want to see what it looks like again.
But didn't we want to see what Paul George, Melo, and Russell Westbrook look like, and then didn't we want to see what Harden, Melo, and Chris Paul looked like?
Yeah.
We wanted to see all these things, but it didn't really seem like any of them really worked.
Chris Paul's a shocker too that it was for him.
Right, because that's another bad contract. He's even older. Like, what are the Thunder doing?
Yeah,
almost?
That was one that was pretty surprising in general too, because I didn't see. So Westbrook might be chippy enough now that could be an interesting matchup for them. Man, I definitely was surprised by that one. I was about as surprised by that one as I was by Paul George. Because I just didn't think it would be. I mean, once Paul George went, I was not surprised that Russ went. I mean, I didn't think he would be staying, honestly.
Didn't it really seem like just this time last year, Paul George chose to stay, and that was a huge thing.
That was a huge thing, and it showed some indication that maybe Russell Westbrook isn't as bad to play with, but now maybe it doesn't matter.
Well, so I was watching The Jump yesterday, and I kind of already had an inclination on this, but for Paul George, not for Russell Westbrook. And they said when Russell Westbrook a couple of years ago signed that massive deal to stay in Oklahoma City, that they told him right then and there that if they could not put a contending team around him, they would trade him to the team he wanted to be traded to.
Do you think that he wanted to go to Houston at that time?
At that time, a couple of years ago, they're saying this has always been his team of choice, which I don't know if I necessarily believe.
Yeah.
But it could be. It could very well have been where he wanted to go the whole time. It's definitely where he wanted to go now because the team offered to him to trade him to some of the other options as well. So they offered to trade him to Miami if that's what he wanted. So this is the exact team he wanted to play for right now. He was the reason this happened, is what people are saying.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if that's what happened with the Paul George trade or signing last year as well. They said to him, like, hey, we're going to offer you this 4-year deal. Give it a year, see if you like it. If it doesn't go the way that you expected to, we will trade you to California, where he wanted to go anyways.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm assuming that if this deal was on the table for Russ, then it was the exact same situation that was set up for Paul George.
Which is maybe why it was so easy for the GM of OKC to do it. Why we didn't hear a bunch of anger about it. There was no hostility. That was just something that happened. He got, record draft picks out of it. So this does play into some of our where are they at in a year. It just makes it different on why. But we said OKC, as long as they have Paul George, are in the playoffs. Now without Paul George and Russell, OKC is now the odd man out. That's the team that's not going to be in the playoffs.
Well, but here's the thing: is like now there might be multiple teams that force multiple odd man outs. You know what I mean? We thought Jazz might be the other one, and they look like they're probably top 4 in the West.
Yeah.
We thought maybe the Clippers, because they didn't have Kawhi at the time, so we thought possibly them as being the odd man out. It now seems like with them not getting out, one other team's probably going to have to give, because I don't know. It seems to me that the Lakers aren't the only team that didn't make it that's coming.
Yeah.
Or maybe they are.
I almost wonder. So Sacramento's hurt now more. I mean, because of all of this. Sacramento was the one I thought maybe had a good chance of getting in.
I think they still have a chance. I think it really depends on what San Antonio does. Because in the last week, a lot of people don't follow this because a lot of people don't follow the Spurs. But Marcus Morris, and Damari Carroll, 2 veterans, they can both shoot threes. They're both defensive savvy players. They're both leaders. They're both aggressive. They're the old school Spurs culture.
Okay.
Both agreed to deals with the Spurs. Carroll actually signed, and then all of a sudden, after a verbal agreement to a 2-year, $20 million contract, and the Spurs trading Davis Bertans to make room for him, so they already traded the guy away who they would have definitely kept if Marcus Morris would have went somewhere else. Marcus Morris decides to go back on the contract and sign a 1-year, $15 million deal with the Knicks instead. So then the Spurs kind of had to scramble to fill that position. So, I mean, that's huge as far as they were going to get a veteran player who's probably going to be a starter. If not a starter, still play 25-plus minutes a game. To now they're signing Trey Lyles, who is a 23-year-old from Denver who, even though – so the funny story about Trey Lyles is he was the guy that Denver traded for 2 years ago in the draft, which was very interesting because a lot of people thought, I mean, I guess he had huge upside, but who did they trade? I'm trying to think. They traded, what's his name for him? Donovan Mitchell. So they originally were the team who drafted Donovan Mitchell, not the Jazz. And they traded Donovan Mitchell for Trey Lyles. Yeah. And obviously just the dumbest move ever.
Yeah, not smart.
Stupid. But the potential's there, so we'll see what San Antonio does with him. He's still only 23. They're going to get him instead of Morris. They play the same style. Personally, as a Spurs fan, I would have rather had the older veteran because that's just how our team likes to operate. But whatever. We haven't seen this in the NBA in a while, especially with not a superstar player, but with like a mid-tier player. We haven't seen this whole commit to a team and then just jump ship a week later.
No, and we've seen it a few times this year. And then one of the other teams, too, that always keeps popping up in the back of my mind is still Dallas. Because you still got Luka and you got, like, Porzingis.
Well, we'll see how he is when he comes back. And they also made some acquisitions as well over the offseason.
Yeah. So they could
Dallas
be like
could be there, but I feel like Dallas and Sacramento are still the fringe teams.
Yeah.
First 2 out, so to speak.
Yeah. I still think, yeah. But kind of dark horse to get in, though, at least, like an 8 seed.
I would say either of them could still compete because there are fringe teams.
Yeah.
Like the Spurs, and depending on when the Warriors get healthy, like the Warriors, there still are teams like that are fringe teams. And we don't know with all of these new power couples, as I've been calling them in the NBA, we don't know if every one of these teams is going to stay healthy, because you got to
Right.
believe that if any of these power couples, like one guy gets hurt, it completely changes any of these teams.
Yeah, and you also still don't know how well they all play together. I think the power couple, I do like that. I will be using that now. The power couple that I am the most that I'm the most optimistic will work is actually Paul George and Kawhi.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, they're the best defensive duo now that has ever been put together in the NBA.
And I like the way in which Kawhi went about getting him, which was basically like a phone call to somebody they're not friends. I mean they're not friends. I'm just saying like they weren't like close buddies that like he called him up. It was like I believe when I read it was like the phone call was kind of like, "Hey, I've always admired how you play." Like Kawhi reached out and was like, "I've always admired how you play. I think we would complement each other." And I actually do think that's true. I think they would complement each other. And then I think a big part of it that would help is that Kawhi isn't a ton of drama. Like there's not a ton there, and neither is Paul George. So
I
I
agree.
like
I
that
think they're
duo.
very similar in style. They're both. I was reading, something that kind of made this comparison before I did, but they're both mid-major guys.
Yeah.
Fresno State, San Diego State players.
Yep. And then
They're just not used to having all the attention on them.
right, and they're both pretty reserved. They seem. I mean, any interview with Paul George, I always feel like it's pretty level-headed. Kawhi same way. Like kind of no nonsense. They just talk about the game. They don't talk about a lot of the off-court stuff. And then on the opposite end of that, you got Harden and Russell Westbrook. I feel
Okay.
like that is the opposite end.
Absolutely. I mean, they're both on the court. They're both loud. Harden's pretty quiet off the court.
Yeah, Harden's pretty quiet off the court, except for the stuff this last season with the
The
referee
playoffs.
stuff. Yeah, the playoff stuff. No, Russell.
Blaming everything on the refs the whole time.
So there was that. They're both pretty loud on the court. So that's going to be interesting. They've played together. That helps. And hurts. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's really interesting. LeBron and Anthony Davis, though, I think that's a good mix. I think that's fine.
Oh,
LeBron,
absolutely. I think they're going to play absolutely amazing together, especially in the pick and roll.
yeah. Did you
Which
see
is, everyone's making a big deal about LeBron. Is he playing point guard this year? It's like LeBron's played point guard every year
Yeah.
in the NBA. Why is it now becoming a big deal if he starts at point guard? They're
Yeah.
still going to play Avery Bradley as a starter who's point guard sized. Like, he's going to guard the other team's point guard.
Yeah. Did you see also that his gift can't be done, right? This season at least. He was going to give Anthony Davis 23.
Oh.
He was going to give him 23, and then a lot of people, I don't know if they ever said it or not, but a lot of people thought he'd probably just go to 6 again, like he was in the Heat.
He posted he posted a picture of himself wearing 6 the other day.
Oh, okay, so that's probably what he was going to do. I guess they can't now though, because they had already started production on the jerseys
Oh.
for this season, and I think it's just like with the deal with the contracts and stuff, I think they just can't this season. That's not to say that after this season they don't, they just do it then,
Oh, they probably will do it like right after this season.
What they should do is just have Anthony Davis be 6 and then they just swap.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Just swap it.
Don't you agree that basically there's no reason to ever buy a basketball jersey again after this year?
Oh my God. Did you see that picture of Dwayne Wade posted?
Oh God, that's what I was thinking. While I was thinking about it, he's just like, I don't think any of these jerseys even make any sense anymore.
He's like, no one's even gonna. He's like, because he's been doing this forever. The jersey swap. He takes a lot of pride in it. He has a huge collection, and he's like in 10 years, no one's even gonna believe these existed.
Yeah.
Poor Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade, he likes Jimmy Butler to the Heat.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but it would have made more sense if they would have got someone else with him, right?
I know, and I thought Jimmy Butler and Russell Westbrook I was intrigued by that.
So a guy we really haven't talked about yet, but he's definitely someone who would be an option to go play with him still is it doesn't feel like with that bad contract and the way they want to tank over the next couple of years, it doesn't seem like the Oklahoma City Thunder would want to keep Chris Paul, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like they're just going to let him slowly dwindle away there. I wouldn't understand that.
No, and it's funny that you say this because that's when Russell Westbrook didn't go to the Heat and Chris Paul went to the Thunder. I honestly kind of wondered if he would go to the Heat eventually.
Thanks. Jeff's on the case, so Anthony Davis is wearing 3 this year, which will be interesting. It's interesting to see someone that big rock the number 3.
Yeah. Does Jeff think that they'll switch next season though? They probably will. I mean,
well, LeBron will go to 6. Once again, he already posted a picture of it.
I think he wants to be 6. I think he.
But if they're going to be doing this for only 1 year, why would you ever buy a jersey of that then?
No.
But I guess isn't that kind of cool though as well? Like to say like, hey, I have the Anthony Davis number 3 jersey from the 1 year he was number 3.
The only thing is with all these jersey stuff, like if you go out and buy a jersey, just don't burn it or do stupid shit like that. Keep it.
Well,
it's cool.
American Express has to have gotten rid of that policy that they have. So like 2 years ago, American Express established this policy where if you buy a jersey with your American Express card, and the player leaves the team that year, you can swap it for a new jersey of a player that is on your team. Yeah. And there's no way they're sticking to that anymore after this year.
Absolutely not.
But they still have it currently, so they're just getting destroyed right now.
I'm at the mind that if I had enough money, I would buy the jerseys for when somebody leaves. Like, I was in the mall and I saw a Le'Veon Bell jersey for the Steelers, and I was like, man, I should get that. I should get a Le'Veon Bell jersey, like relive the heyday. Hang it up in the man cave. Just keep it. I got my Chris Paul Clippers jersey.
Well, because we all know this. After a certain amount of time, it becomes cool again to have certain people's jerseys.
Absolutely.
Because they're like a classic player.
Yeah. And if I found a Cleveland Cavaliers LeBron jersey for a decent price, I'd probably pick it up. I'd probably pick up a Heat one. Sure, why not?
I think you still see the Heat ones occasionally.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I don't like to go there, but I stepped into a Walmart because Papa needed his claws. And someone in front of me was wearing a Kevin Durant Golden State, and I'm like, too soon, bro.
Oh man, yeah.
I'd already have that. That stuff would already be like in the back of my closet at this point.
I also don't know if I'd just go buy a Kevin Durant. It's amazing how fast people will buy a jersey, though. I mean, there's got to be people rocking Kyrie Irving Nets jerseys already.
Well, and that's why they start production so early, is because people want them. And so we haven't even talked about that because of the injury to Kevin Durant, but that's one of the duos in the NBA.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. I mean, I think the Nets will make the playoffs again with just Kyrie.
Interesting.
But I think it'll probably be about the same spot.
I guess what I'd be more interested in, I don't disagree with you there, what I'd be more interested in is, do you think that the Raptors, with what they still have left, because they didn't trade away anybody else after this. It's not like after Kawhi left, they were like doing what Oklahoma City's doing and just crumbling.
Sure.
They look like they're still putting together at least some resemblance of a team.
But they don't have Danny Green either, though, right?
Right, but
did Danny Green go to LA?
Danny Green went to the Lakers, but Danny Green had a backup who was hurt most of the year.
Okay.
And who was only a second-year player, who was supposed to eventually pass Danny Green. What I imagine them doing now that Danny Green is gone, though, is they will probably go with a 2-point guard type of system, which you see a lot of teams kind of doing, and so they'll have Van Vliet start. So Fred Van Vliet will play at the 2 guard, while Kyle Lowry is the point guard, and I actually think you pair those two with Pascal Siakam, Marc Gasol, Serge Ibaka. I think you have a pretty decent starting 5.
Still a good coach, too.
That team's always had a good bench, but Van Vliet was one of their best bench players. Mm-hmm. So that'll be interesting.
They could still be in.
I think the East is outside of the top 4 is down now. So I think they have a great chance. But OG Anunoby, who was actually Kawhi Leonard's backup last year, could move into that starting role. And OG's only 21. He was someone out of Indiana who I really wanted in the Kawhi Leonard trade. I thought the Spurs would be able to acquire him as well, and they understood the value of him. The Raptors did, so they wouldn't allow it.
Did the Sixers get a good spot for Butler?
Did they get an? I mean, I don't even really. I think he left as a free agent.
Okay, so they haven't really filled that in yet.
Huh?
They haven't really filled that spot then.
No, they have not, and they also. If you think about it, JJ Redick also left.
Yes, he did.
So the 76ers, as far as offensive shooting goes, those are their 2 best 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
Their best 3-point shooter now. Oh man.
Embiid.
It's probably Joel Embiid.
Yeah, it ain't Simmons.
No, yeah, he probably. Who knows if he even shoots a 3 this year?
No. He should just keep. Man, I'm saying it. Just keep working on it, man. He needs to get that coach that Damian's using.
Some people don't believe that. Some people don't believe that he can do it.
I think he can.
So we're gonna play a game today.
Okay.
Because we have all these new power couples in the NBA. Well, actually, before we get started, I want you to list off who you consider one of the power couples. And it doesn't have to just be one of the newly formed ones. Let's just talk about the power couples in general. Who are they?
Well, let me throw my bias out real quick. I still think that Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum is still a good power couple.
And that is why I asked you this question, because I want to know if you believe that we should have them included on this list.
I think so, yes. And granted, I have the bias behind it, but I was like, my cousin always texts me about stuff. She thinks wholeheartedly. It's Summer's probably watching, actually. No, they're on a vacation. But anyway, so it's Summer who always chimes in the chat room when our sound's bad or something. She thinks, like, full on, that if Damian Lillard would have been approached by Kawhi or somebody else, he would have went anywhere else. And
really?
Whereas, we've seen his quotes and stuff, and he could just be, that's true. He could just be saying the right things, about Portland. Mm-hmm. I do think he wants to stay in Portland, though. I really actually do genuinely think that. I think he could use one more really good piece there. I like Whiteside, though. I love that addition.
I do too, especially while Nurkic is gone, because that they can, when Nurkic comes back, they can just trade one of those guys for a different position.
Absolutely. So I like that mix. I still think I trust Terry Stotts and the GM in their willingness to keep Zach Collins. I think they see something there. If at the very least, if they can keep building him as a good trade piece eventually. I think they see something there. I don't think he would be my power couple with Damian. I think McCollum and Damian Lillard should be in the conversation, though, at least. If it not towards the bottom. But they should still be in the conversation. They make a great team.
But then I would say that I would also still say Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are, in my opinion, a power couple.
Absolutely. I think so, too. I think they are still in the conversation.
I think that the game that we're about to play will probably back that up. I will let you know right now they are one of the teams on this list, so it doesn't throw you a curveball.
Okay.
They are an option as far as people you can choose from. So the game we're going to play is I'm going to give you the stats of the power couple. I will group them together. Maybe I'll do like an average. Give you the average combined statistics of the two.
Okay.
And we can kind of compare.
Okay.
I know that's not fair because they don't all play the same position, but I think if you kind of just look at the well-roundedness of it all, it might add up. I will not include I won't include like a Ben Simmons and a Joel Embiid because I do not consider them.
Well, I don't consider that.
I don't consider them an elite power couple.
I don't either.
So.
Real quick before you do this, though, I would say I would still like to see Kevin Love in Portland. I think there could be something cool with Love and Lillard.
Well, I think it was Bleacher Report did the trades we still want to see.
Yeah.
They did like the top 5 trades we still want to see, and Whiteside to the Cavs was one of them for Love.
Okay.
Like, do it at mid-season after you've gotten what you needed out of Whiteside.
Like get Nurk back.
Yep.
Trade.
And then give Nurk a nice running mate, at the big position.
Yeah. And then I like that. Okay.
That's a lot of rebounds, baby.
That would be. And also I just just for nostalgia's story, it's just fun. I like the idea. I like Kevin Love. I always have. All right.
So I welcome anyone who is following along to also try to guess in on this game. I'm going to give the individual points and then the combined average of some of what I consider the NBA power couples. By the way, before I do this, who does everyone think is the best new power couple in the NBA? Who do you think, Derek?
New or returning?
New or returning?
Well, I would still... Man, I'd be remiss and probably wrong if I still didn't look at Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. I mean, Good God. Splash Bros, That said, I think the new best power couple, one that I've been sold on it since it happened, and that's Kawhi and Paul George. I think, hands down, that has been the best selection.
Okay,
I think the Clippers are scary this year.
Those two with Patrick Beverley and the rest of that starting 5, I think is not only the best power couple, but I think it is the best defense of all time, and it hasn't even played a game yet.
I also love that it's 2 guys that went home to California. I also love that it's 2 guys that are playing for a historically horrendous franchise.
Agreed. So, going into this, I probably could have pulled career stats. Instead, I just pulled last year's statistics.
That's good. Okay.
The reason that might not necessarily be the most prudent for this game is because Anthony Davis was playing on a fallen team that was resting him more. LeBron James was injured for a little bit and had to do some weird stuff to keep LA afloat when he was playing. Durant had pretty good stats, so I'll count his. I think Kyrie, even though he missed some time, I think his are pretty accurate.
Well, I think Durant's might be too. I think he is. No slight on this at all, but I think Durant is slowing down a little.
Yeah.
A little bit. So I think last year's, with the injuries and stuff,
but they're only going to get worse.
Yeah, and I think that's an indicator of what could be to come. I don't think he's not going to go out the rest of his career never having another injury again.
Yep. Okay.
So, I think that's fair.
And then obviously Russell Westbrook had the worst 3-pointing shooting, or just shooting in general, season of his career, but obviously averaged another triple-double. So that is why I'm going to give you the averages, because I feel like if I don't give you the averages, it's going to be pretty obvious when I give you Russell Westbrook's.
Yeah, okay.
So
let's do this.
Okay. First power couple.
Okay.
And I will give you clues if you need them.
Okay.
First power, or should I give you a group of them so you can kind of compare in your head before just blindly guessing on who it's going to be?
Give me 2 power couples to compare first.
Okay.
How about that?
2, and we'll start eliminating people.
Okay.
First 2. They had a combined average of 24.9 points a game, 5.7 rebounds a game, 6.4 assists, and together they averaged 1.1 steals, which is on this list considered right in the middle on steals.
Okay.
So what I'm basically implying is great scoring duo, not necessarily the highest when it comes to rebounds or passing the ball. This other power couple, very similar, slightly worse. 23.9 points a game.
Okay.
4 rebounds, 4.9 assists, 0.95 steals a game. So worse in every category, just barely. Still, both pretty formidable duos.
Neither of those duos are Kawhi and Paul George.
For sure.
Easily. The steals gave it up.
Right.
Right,
because they're both like 2 steals a game guys.
I do feel like one of those duos could be LeBron and Anthony Davis.
Oh, I don't know about that, because LeBron and Anthony, or LeBron's a good assist man,
Yeah, he is.
and they're both 8+ rebounds a game. I'll give that away.
Okay, I'm gonna go. One of those couples is Harden and Russell Westbrook.
No.
No.
No, because I'll tell you right now, Westbrook averaged a triple-double, and Harden also had 7.5 assists a game. So
Harden,
I'll tell you who they are.
You know, can I? First off, let me say that's impressive. When you watch the Rockets play, it does not feel like he has that many assists. That's actually impressive.
But if you think about it, PJ Tucker led the league in corner threes. So
yeah, it just doesn't.
Who was passing him those balls? It wasn't just Chris Paul. I'll tell you who they are.
Okay.
I wanted to get these guys out of the way early. The first one, the 24.9, 5.7, 6.4, 1.1. That is Durant and Kyrie Irving.
Wow.
Kyrie Irving is not a great passing point guard.
No. Durant,
once he gets the ball, even in Golden State, it tended to stay running through him.
Okay.
And Kyrie's a great steals guy. 1.5 is awesome. Durant, not so much. If I would have added blocks into this category, I think he would have led everyone on the field in blocks, but I did not include it.
Yeah, he's great with those.
The other couple, the one that was lower in every statistical category was Lillard and McCollum.
Wow, okay.
So they are, as far as the teams we are going to discuss, they are
that makes,
second to the bottom.
It makes sense because defensively, the Blazers have needed help. And you could see it in the playoffs for sure. I mean, it makes sense. They need some assistance there. And I think Whiteside will be it. And I know Nurk is. I mean, God, he is a beast, but he's got to stay
thinking
healthy.
Thinking about Lillard and McCollum, 23.4, 4.3 assists, 4.9 rebounds or assists, and then 4.3 rebounds and 0.95 steals. Tell me who you think this is. I'm not giving you anybody else. I'm just giving you this one stat line.
Okay.
This duo, 24.4, 4.5, 3.8, and then 1.2 steals. Very, very similar numbers to Lillard and McCollum. Yeah. And I will say, geographically, they are close.
So, Utah or...
I wouldn't put a power couple in Utah because there isn't a power couple in Utah.
Well, what about... Denver? Would it be Denver?
That'd be Curry and Thompson.
Is it really? Wow. Okay.
I think the steals give that away.
Yeah.
Also, Curry, 27.3 points a game to Thompson's only 21.5. But it is crazy to think.
Yeah.
It is crazy to think that Durant, Curry, and Thompson, 26 for Durant, 27 for Curry, and 21.5 for Thompson. That is a crazy trio.
And where did Seth go? Where did Seth Curry
Back to
go?
Dallas. The team that really bred him into being an NBA caliber player.
And I like that. I like Seth Curry with Luka and Porzingis down there.
I think there's a lot of stuff to like about Dallas, but I do think they are maybe the 9 or the 10.
Okay.
For the West.
So McCollum and Lillard are at the bottom. I still think they're in the conversation, but I did say that towards the bottom at least.
Right. So the only thing that they had on
trade McCollum.
The only thing Lillard and McCollum have on Curry and Thompson is just assists.
It's hard. It's hard because I love McCollum and I wouldn't want him to go.
I truly believe that all 4 of those players' numbers will be inflated this next year. I think Lillard and McCollum just continue to play better together, and then I think that Curry and Thompson, without Durant there, their numbers are going to go up. Like Curry's going to go back up to putting MVP caliber numbers on the board.
I'm actually genuinely excited to see Golden State what they do this year.
Once they are healthy, I agree.
Yeah.
I'll be excited to see how Curry and Draymond kind of carry the team until then, and it'll be interesting to see if they do keep D'Angelo Russell, what he contributes to that team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I forgot he was there.
Which we keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Maybe the power couple by the end of this year ends up being Curry and D'Angelo. D'Angelo! Ho, ho, ho.
I honestly keep forgetting he's there.
Yeah. It's because I don't think he even knows he's there yet.
I don't think he does either. He'll like it, though. Okay, go ahead.
Let's get down to the real meat of this. I probably shouldn't have saved the best 2 for last, but I'm going to.
That's right.
Statistically, I will read this off.
Okay.
One of the power couples, 27.3 points a game, 7.75 rebounds,
Wow.
3.75 assists, and an average of 2 steals a game.
Whew.
Now, I will say the other ones now.
Okay.
The other couple, 29.5 points a game, more than the 27.3. 8.85 rebounds a game,
Wow.
more than the 7.75. 9.1 assists a game
Jesus.
compared to the 3.7, and 1.95 steals compared to the 2.
So
These are very close, except
less
for
on the steals,
assists.
though. Okay. Wow, the assists though.
So who had more points, more rebounds, way more steals, or way more assists, but slightly less steals? I feel like that's a layup right there.
So the assists, okay.
That's got to give it away.
Is that? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't know. You gotta tell me. I don't know.
Are you reading the comment section?
No.
I feel like our sweet baby boy Jeff is just right on. I feel like he probably would have played this game very well.
Well, yeah, he's gonna play better. He'd play better than I play it. Let me take a look. You go to the comments. I can't see the comments section. Oh, here we go.
I mean, the fact that one had more assists and then less steals.
So
what gives it away?
Is that Russell Westbrook?
Right, because obviously Kawhi and Paul George are going to lead in steals.
Yeah.
George.
Oh no, and that's why I was like, I mean, like the steals are, the assists though I feel like would be Russell Westbrook because the triple double.
Right. I mean, so Westbrook and Harden's average together almost looks like a triple double: 29.5, 8.85, and 9.1.
Can I say okay? And then what was their steals again?
1.95, because Harden had 2 steals a game and Westbrook had 1.19.
So can I say again, watching it from feeling alone, that's more impressive to me that Harden has that many steals a game.
More than Westbrook, and Westbrook and George were the best duo in the league for stealing the basketball.
So that's impressive that Harden, I mean, you already know I like James Harden, but I almost don't give him enough credit even for what I should give him. He actually does more defensively than what I had originally thought. And then the assists, man, that's insane.
Well, so I hate to talk about it, but did you ever see that it's more of a swipe than a steal on DeMar DeRozan that James Harden did? Like, it's a fast break for DeRozan. DeRozan's going up for the layup, and without even looking, James Harden takes his hand behind him and just swipes, and he nails the ball perfectly and knocks it out of bounds.
Yeah, that's good. So that's pretty good. Man, those assists though, wow, that's incredible. Yep. All right. You got any more?
That's it.
So what's Anthony Davis and LeBron?
What's Anthony Davis and LeBron?
Yeah.
Oh, did I not even do them? I completely forgot. I just left them off the list. I'll just tell you. Okay, it's pretty good, actually. It's
where
really
are they
good.
at? Yeah, I'm curious. Well, because this is with Anthony Davis being out quite a bit of the year and LeBron being out quite a bit of the year.
Right, and the games that Davis played, they played him short minutes.
Right.
And so it's still pretty incredible. Davis and James, 26.65 combined points per game, 10.25 assists, or rebounds, excuse me. So they average over 10 assists or rebounds a game together.
Wow.
6.1 assists because of LeBron's 8.3 a game. And then they both did pretty well on steals, 1.6 and 1.3, so a combined 1.45 average. So
that is pretty
they
good.
are right up there with the Kawhi, Paul George, and Westbrook Harden combination.
So while you are not you're not a Lakers fan, you like Anthony Davis. And I think we both like Boogie Cousins.
I respect Anthony Davis.
Yeah, there it is. And we both like Kawhi, even though he's not with the Spurs. I think we both have pretty well said we still like Kawhi. Would you say that you are genuinely interested in the Battle of LA?
Well, I think that's what this season's really going to boil down to. So absolutely.
Yeah. Are they not? Did I hear that they are opening the season together? Opening the season against each other.
I don't know the opening of the year schedule. I've been really curious to what it's going to be, just because I want to start planning which games I'm going to go to. But
Yeah.
if that is the case, I mean, that's going to be the big buzz.
Well, one of the games you need to go to is I think we need to go watch a Portland and San Antonio game.
Oh, I'm gonna do that.
In
Portland, San Antonio, and then Utah, San Antonio for sure.
Yeah, and I want to go to a Portland game, and for me, it would make sense to go with you and go watch them play the Spurs. I think that would be fun. It'd be fun to talk about on the show. Be fun for us to be sitting next to each other wearing Portland and San Antonio stuff. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait to get the selfie for that at that game and use that as the new sports program logo.
Absolutely, that needs to be our new logo.
That's going to be a blast. I mean, it's going to be so fun. Plus, that would be my first NBA game in person, which is pretty cool. Which is one of the reasons why Portland ended up being in the running as the top team. It was, because I thought I could go to a Utah game too. That was why they were also in the mix. Speaking of Utah, but kind of not, but also kind of, I did text you about this. Summer League, Grayson Garbage Allen.
Yep.
He got ejected from the game. Just doing what he does, man. He's not gonna make it.
Right. So it was like a hard, tomahawk swipe down on somebody's head. Basically.
It was, yeah. And I don't know if you watched any of the game or at least watched any of the clips, but the announcers were just definitely like. They were not on the side of Grayson Allen for sure. I think at one point one of them was just like, get him out of there. Like, they were just done. They were done with him. They're talking about how he used to play Duke and just how he, they're like, oh, it's always everyone else's fault, not Grayson Allen's. Like, man, they're over it. I think I'm glad that he got to play in the NBA for a little bit. It's cool that he got to go do that.
Well, Memphis is a young team. It's not like he's not going to get a chance to play some minutes.
I just don't think he's going to play based on the fact that I don't think he can. I don't think he can make it in the NBA. He has to foul to play.
No, I don't think he has to foul to play. I just don't think he can help but aggressively foul. It's just like a part of him.
Right, that's what I mean. Like, but I just mean like he has to be. I don't want to make the comparison, but I do sometimes when I'm watching Portland and Collins gets in there. Collins was kind of a foul machine this last year. And I like Zach Collins, but I do feel like when he gets in there, I'm like, yeah, he's in a foul. I mean, there's a lot of times he'd get in and he'd foul within the first 30 seconds of being in the game. He plays really aggressively. I like that. We've talked about that. I like chippy play. Even though Draymond Green's annoying to me when he's playing my team, I do like that he is chippy and tough. You have to be. You need to have somebody like that on your team. Cousins used to be that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, still is. It's just he's always hurt. Hard to be aggressive all the time when you're on the bench. But like Draymond's good. But then there's players like Kawhi Leonard who, when he was with the Spurs specifically, like he didn't foul very often. And he's still aggressive. But
so Jeff just commented on Jake Layman. Jake Layman's gone now, buddy.
Yep, Layman's gone. Oh, sad about that.
Layman's gone.
Sad about that. I was kind of sad about Myers Leonard.
Myers Leonard's gone, and then obviously Curry's gone. Really and Miles Turner's gone too.
Yeah, Evan Turner, and then Aminu, Al-Farouq Aminu as well. Chief left.
Al-Farouq Aminu's gone, and Mo Harkless is gone. That's like the whole team.
They got rid of a lot of that bench.
A lot of the bench, and Mo Harkless and Aminu played starting minutes.
Yes, they did.
Man.
Yeah. No. I mean, it was surprising. It was surprising to see all of them go. I thought of the ones left that I thought would say, and S. Cantor. Cantor's gone as well.
Yeah, and he was a late add to the season, but he really filled in nicely.
Well, I thought for sure after the playoffs that Cantor was going to be around for a little bit. I kind of thought that how he played in the playoffs. Because he traditionally Cantor doesn't have a lot of defense, but I thought he did well, and he's a good shooter. But he did well offensively or defensively. Not not it wasn't amazing, but he covered well. He's not Nurk, but he covered well. I like him. I think with the culture, I think he fits in well. He's sassy. Portland likes that a lot.
Sassy.
He is. He's a sassy
guy. Sassy big man.
So that was surprising. I thought Layman had a good chance to stay just because I like him off the bench. He didn't get any minutes in the playoffs though. So that was doomed. Leonard was one that I was actually really surprised about because he's been with the team for like 7 years.
Right, and there's been very small glimpses of promise, but never really he just never really all the way stepped up to his potential because they always implied that he had it.
From what I've learned of being a lifelong Portland Trailblazers fan since this last summer, that city is interesting with the fan base because much like me, even getting sucked in a year, that city really loves a lot of its players, even though they have gone to the playoffs twice in the last few years and got swept, and then went this year and then went far and then got swept. Is that there's still a lot of nostalgia. Honestly, it's a lot like Seattle, the Mariners, where the Mariners up until this last year traded. They kept everyone. They kept Nelson Cruz, Robbie Canal, and just consistently not get into the playoffs. But then you still go to a Mariners game or be a Mariners fan, and you still love a lot of these key players. Nelson Cruz, Robbie Canal, Mitch Haniger. You still love all these players. And then this last season, the Mariners got rid of most of those. And then so this year with Portland, to see a lot of those guys leave, very interesting to me. I am excited for Whiteside. I am excited for Nasir Little.
I think so too. He showed glimpses as well, but I don't know. I also wonder if there was a reason he dropped. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that could.
There's always a reason someone drops.
Portland's going to be an interesting team this year, and they while I do like Lillard and McCollum, they're actually one of those teams that, with everything going to the West now. I mean, we've talked about it on the past shows. Like, to me, it's like Portland. Like I can list a few teams where I'm like, ooh, it's gonna be tougher. It's gonna be a tougher struggle. Portland, San Antonio, Utah. I still think a little bit, and then tougher for the fringe teams, Sacramento, Dallas. But those teams, specifically San Antonio and Portland, are the two teams where I'm like, well, it'll be harder.
It's going to be a hard road for sure.
Not to say that either one of those teams, or if not both, will still make it into the playoffs. I just think it's going to be a tougher road. You got a lot of teams that are now going to be stacked. But you never know. Some of those teams could be a bust. Russell Westbrook and James Harden could still be a bust.
Maybe not a bust, but yeah, you're right. A playoff bust, like a great regular season duo together. But they had the same struggles the last few years, every single year in the playoffs. They just couldn't finally get over that last hump. So you got to try something new eventually. You can't just keep repeating the same cycle.
Yeah. LeBron, I feel like LeBron and Anthony Davis are must win. They have to get in the playoffs.
Oh, they have to get in the playoffs, but I think they have to get in the playoffs and do well.
Yeah, they can't get swept. They have to go and do well.
They can't get swept and they can't lose in the first round.
No.
And then you can't get swept in the second round. You have to compete. I would say it's Battle of LA in the Western Conference Finals or bust for either LA team.
Do you think LeBron James gets a championship in LA?
That's tough. It just really depends which team gels faster between.
Do you think Kawhi Leonard gets a championship for the Clippers?
Oh, yeah. Before it's all said and done, he gets one or two for the Clippers.
His career is going to be known as going to teams that have never had other than San Antonio.
Yeah, we're flush with championships.
That's different.
Maybe.
He's going to be known as going to two teams that have never won a championship and then winning.
Sealing the deal.
Yeah. And now, I mean, he's already cemented a legacy as being a loner, being a rental for a year, and then winning a
That's true.
championship. I mean, he won. The circumstances were right. A lot of injuries to Golden State. Golden State probably should have won.
I don't know. I think when it's all said and done, no one's really going to think about who was injured or who wasn't.
No,
or
I mean,
who was playing or who wasn't. It's just they're going to see what Kawhi did, you know?
Yeah. I just definitely, yeah. What a cool experiment. We got to see it. We got to see this rental for a year. He won. I don't think anybody in Toronto is mad.
Yeah, so I think the big difference also between the two LA teams is the Lakers are going to have more scoring in bulk, where the Clippers are going to have more defense in bulk. But Paul George and Kawhi can both absolutely take over a game offensively.
Yeah.
It's just besides for those two, they have less around. Well, and they have Lou Williams off the bench. People keep forgetting 6th man of the year a billion times running. But
I can't wait to see a strong defensively played Clippers team. I think that would be cool.
Yeah, but I also think that Kuzma completely negates Lou Williams' scoring with the scoring of that he's going to provide as well.
Yep.
Every year Kuzma's in the league, he's going to score more points.
I wonder how many gods Kuzma is thanking that he wasn't one of them. How many gods does Kuzma thank every day for not being part of that trade? For being being the one. He's the one that got to stay.
He is the only one who got to stay. Yeah, he was the last young blood remaining.
Do you think Lonzo would have been a good teammate with LeBron and Anthony Davis?
Do I think Lonzo would have?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's been working on that 3-point shot. But I think that Kuzma's already better instant offense compared to Lonzo. I think Lonzo would have been great as far as passing to Anthony Davis in the post. That would have been fun to see. But I think LeBron's going to do that anyways.
But if you look at New Orleans, Lonzo's actually I think he's a great fit there, to be honest.
Well, and we haven't even talked about that as they could be one of those fringe playoff teams as well.
Yep, they could.
And I think that the Pelicans have a better chance of being a fringe playoff team than I think the Dallas Mavericks do.
Yeah. Yeah, I would take that. I think New Orleans would too.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're rounding near that time.
It's been a good one, man.
It was a good one.
Yeah, the last 10 minutes I just had a little bit of a panic attack because my Justin back home was like, "Hey man, did you get something from Ticketmaster? Because I got mailed here instead, and that is my Vans Warped Tour ticket for this Friday."
Oh.
So that is in Lewiston, not in Boise.
Where is the van? Which tour are you going to? Which concert?
We're going to the California date. There's always the California and the East Coast date. We're going to the California date starting next Saturday. But yes, my ticket is in Lewiston, Idaho. It's a, they do those commemorative tickets. So, I do not have a phone ticket that I can just scan when I get down there. My only ticket is up at my old house there.
So can they mail it?
Yeah, hopefully they can get it down here soon enough. I'm sure if you do two-day delivery, it'll get here on time.
Yeah, they can.
But either way, panic attack. If it doesn't get down here on time, looks like I'm buying another $150 ticket.
Who are you going with?
Sean.
Oh, that's awesome.
Marsh. Yeah, we're driving all the way to San Francisco.
Oh, that's gonna be a fun trip, though.
It'll be cool. Yeah, I already have the time off of work, so and everything else is paid for. So better not fall through.
Who is the biggest name there you're excited to see?
The biggest name or the band that I want to see the most? Because the band I want to see the most is the starting line. I want to see the All-American Rejects, baby.
Okay, so to me, the starting line is the biggest name there.
Yeah, to me, that's everything. I'm paying this money just to see the starting line.
I hope they play a ton of Best of Me. And I hope they play that new song, the newer song, Luck. That's a really good song.
Yeah, I hope they equally pepper in all 3 albums because I genuinely like them all.
I like all of their songs. I mean, the starting line's in my top 3.
They're right up there. And maybe, just for funsies, maybe just pepper in a Vacationer song for Papa.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be cool.
It won't happen, but a boy can dream.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And it'll be cool. I haven't seen Set Your Goals or Man Overboard in quite some time, so that'll be fun. I don't know. It's just a weird mix of throwback bands
It
and
is.
then bands that I still listen to. So I'm
So
pumped.
a long time ago, I went and watched All American Rejects and the Starting Line together at the Screaming is for Babies tour. A long time ago. That was a great tour. Believe Less Than Jake was also there. Then I saw All American Rejects. I've seen both All American Rejects and the Starting Line at Warp Tour together back when they did the real Warp Tour. Back when it was a large tour.
Right.
And
when
I've
it
seen
toured
them
every year.
together a couple
Yeah,
times.
this is the first year of them trying this like festival format. We'll see how it goes. I think that they could have gotten more current bands,
Yeah,
like more bands that are still putting out good music right now. But it's really hard to, when you only have a couple dates, to get that to line up with bands that are touring over the summer's current schedules.
I'm pretty sad that they. I mean, I understand why they don't do it anymore, but I'm still pretty sad that they don't do Warp Tour like they used to. Cause that man, those were the heyday. Those are the fun years, man. To like, I went to Warp Tour, 2006, 7, and 8. All 3 years, fun times, great bands. Even the bands I weren't excited. They made Warp Tour in 2007. I saw one band there that I was not a fan of previously and became a fan after I watched them live, and that was Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, I saw them. They were the last band to play at the Gorge. God, what year was that? 2006?
Okay.
2005?
So
they were amazing, though. They shut that shit down.
I went 6, 7, and 8. If it was 6, we watched the same one because they played last. They were the biggest band there. That was From Under the Cork Tree. That was like heyday. Great concert. But I was not a huge Fall Out Boy fan at the time though. But then I watched them and I instantly bought any CD I could. And now I've been a fan since then. One of the other really great bands I've seen a few times at Warped Tour, which I loved, which is Silverstein.
Well, they're playing this year too.
Oh, that's great.
And they just played in Spokane Friday.
Yep. And then another band I saw twice at Warped Tour was Emery. Great band.
They crushed it.
Very good. Very fun. And of course, Emery never played on the main stage. So sometimes when the way the Warped Tour was laid out, sometimes that was like the best bet is you can go to like the Volcom stage and go stand like a foot away from like Toby. Like, from the band. You go watch them on the Volcom stage and you're like, oh man, I'm like right here. This is awesome. And it's a little less people. It's a little less crowded, less moshing. So you're not getting the back of your head punched.
I think for this one, it's not the old layout either where there's like 6 stages. I think there's like 2. Yeah, and they're right next to each other, and the bands just go back and forth for 2 straight days. And so it's also a 2-day thing instead of 1.
That's super cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And actually, I do like that about how they did main stage back at the Gorge, which was both sides of the stage. While one was setting up, the other one played.
Yeah, and I think that's how this is going on.
So it was like limited interruptions. It was great. It was a lot of fun. The last year I went and watched it, AFI was playing, which was I didn't know I wanted to see them live. I didn't know I wanted to see AFI live until I watched them live, and I'm like, hey, I actually kind of like live AFI.
Why wouldn't you, dog?
Well, that was during... So, what was that? Sing the Sorrow. Liked that album a lot.
Oh, yeah, loved it.
Wasn't a huge fan of the follow-up.
Hated it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was during that time period and they played a bunch of that, I was probably glad I wasn't.
So they only played. When we saw them play at Warped Tour, they actually played a ton of "Sing the Sorrow," and they played like that one, Miss Murder. They played that song, and it was like, that's right, that's fine. And they closed with it.
I don't want to die right now.
Yeah. The other ones, though, from Sing the Sorrow were awesome. Like, the Leaving song was super good.
Mm-hmm.
Girls Not Gray or Girls Gone Gray or whatever the hell it is.
Girls Not Gray, yeah.
Great song. A lot of fun.
Girls Gone Gray.
Something like that, yeah.
Girls Gone Wild, baby!
Girls Gone Gray. It's like the Girls Gone Wild, but they're all in their 60s.
But now they're old and we still don't want to watch it.
No, except for I liked the commercial when I was a kid.
Oh, the commercials were great. I'm like, is someone going to walk in and catch me watching this commercial?
cue Jamaican
Mom, what are you doing in here?
cue Jamaican steel drum
Yeah.
from the.
Oh
You
yeah,
remember
every
that?
time, and
Bang,
and
bang, bang,
occasionally
bang,
Snoop
bang.
Dogg.
Yep. Oh man, that's so funny because you can describe that commercial to any guy around our age, and literally everyone knows exactly what you're talking about. And they played it on. It was always on Comedy Central, like after midnight. They play like the infomercial for it. Bang, 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 and you're like, oh, starting.
Here we go.
I gotta lock my door. I don't want anyone to know I'm watching this. Good times. Good times being a kid. People older than me had to sneak in the living room and watch scrambled Cinemax. And I was lucky to have the Girls Gone Wild infomercial on Comedy Central at midnight.
Yep, you just watch it in syndication as
Yep.
it plays over and over and over again.
On real TV, the exact same thing. It's an infomercial. I mean, it plays the same thing over and over again. Can you believe at one point people bought tapes? People bought that. I never owned a Girls Gone Wild tape, but I know the commercial.
Yeah, how do you even hide that from people?
I have no idea.
It's too much media.
I would never want to get that to my house. Better show up in a black box, baby. No label. I'm either ordering Girls Gone Wild or a box of Anthrax. That's it. All right. Well, it's a good show. I had a lot of fun on this one.
Oh yeah.
We were more on the tracks.
Yeah, we talked about sports for like the whole show.
More on the rails. Have fun at Warped Tour. Would you let me know how that is? I'm insanely
I'll let
jealous.
you know if I make it.
Yeah. I am still throwing around the idea. They might even be sold out, which would actually be beneficial to me because I wouldn't pay the money. I'm still throwing around Blink in August.
Yeah, I just saw that Lil Wayne quit that tour, like, in the middle of one of the shows.
Which is actually why I might be interested in going to watch it now. I just don't.
Yeah.
It's just they added Lil Wayne and then the tickets skyrocketed. Nathan and I went and watched Blink-182 with a Day to Remember and All American Rejects just a couple years ago, and those tickets were like $100. I mean, they weren't great. $100. It's like $175 now for terrible seats. So I don't know. I can't be on the floor anymore though. I learned at the last Blink-182 concert. I am too old for that. I was so sore and I felt very sick the next day. You're moving in ways that your body does not want you to move in your 30s. Do you still go on the floor? Do you still go to the pit?
I'll move around a little bit, baby.
Yeah, still do it.
Yeah, I
You should
I
at
still
this.
try for a little bit. I hate my life within like an hour, but yeah.
At Warped Tour, how long is a set, do you think?
It warped?
Yeah. How long do you think
Like
the
30
starting
minutes.
line will get to play? 30 minutes? That's pretty good. That would be fun. That would be a good time. I'm very jealous. Especially since that band isn't always around.
Right. It will be a good... I'll buy another ticket if I have to. That's just how life works.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'll just buy another ticket if it comes down to it.
especially since you have the other stuff paid for. It's...
Right.
What do you do? I mean, you gotta figure that out.
Right, exactly. Hopefully they can give me something that scans. I don't want a commemorative ticket. I want something on my phone that can't get screwed up.
Yeah, I mean, like, at the very least, you could get the scan on the phone and then get the other ticket and keep that, I guess, keep that commemorative ticket, but...
Right, no kidding.
But, I mean, you need to get in there. You gotta get to that
Yeah.
show, baby.
I'm just going to drive all the way there and sell my blood outside the venue
Ooh, I love it.
for scalping money.
You could sell some Starling Lin shirts.
Oh, I am gonna buy some merch while I'm there, man. I kid
Yeah.
you not. When I get back to Boise, I will be balls deep in Star Wars merchandise.
Do you still have that Taking Back Sunday hat? I haven't seen
Yeah,
you wear
actually,
it in a long
I'm
time.
buying a new one, so I have like a clean version to wear.
And I have a hat for you. I can't believe I didn't give it to you when you were here. That Adidas hat that I bought.
Yeah.
I want to give that to you. I have
Yeah,
that. I have that hat. That's your style.
I know that's one of my favorite hats.
I wore it once, and I was like, it's still not me. And so when you came up here, I was gonna be like, hey, you said you've always wanted one of these hats, so don't buy an Adidas hat. I have it here somewhere. It's your hat now.
Oh, I'm so
I
excited.
just gotta dig it out. It's yours, though. It's your
I'm
style.
very
man.
excited.
It's your style. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to the show. Chime in with who you think your favorite, your favorite NBA power couple, and who you think will do the best, because it's not always the same. My favorite, CJ and Damian. Who I
Yes.
think will do the best, Kawhi and Paul George. Not the same.
Yeah, I
thing.
would like to know who everyone's got on this.
All right, everybody. Have a good weekend. Enjoy your Sunday. And I'm sorry you have to go back to work tomorrow.
That's all of us.
Yeah. Welcome to the real world, everybody.
I'm only going back for 4 days, baby.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. What day are you driving down?
I'm driving down Friday.
Okay. This show's on
Saturday and Sunday.
How long of a drive is that?
11 hours. It's gonna suck.
Ooh. Take turns?
Oh yeah, we're taking turns. But I'll pick up the rental car like 6 in the morning Friday, Friday morning.
Oh, doing a rental. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
A little more fuel efficient probably than the SUV.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah.